Lincoln Riley says that the coaching brain power added to the defense should make an impact. DeShaun Foster has a conundrum with the UCLA coaching staff, and Jack Hughes needs to shut the hell up about the LA Kings. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is February 18th, 2024, broadcasting from Ice Station Alpha in St. Loser, Missouri. We added a new subscriber yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. We'll do our best to keep you informed. And by the way, if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Before we get to the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. In overtime, Brant Clark scored a breakaway game winner for his first NHL goal. The Kings rallied from a 2-goal deficit and won their last 2 games, by the way, after being humiliated in Buffalo. They defeated Boston in overtime 5-4. Meantime, Boogie Ellis scored 30 points, but the USC basketball team surrendered a 16-point lead and lose in double overtime to Colorado, 92-89. Meanwhile, today, the Kings are at Pittsburgh at 3 o'clock, and Utah will be playing at UCLA at 4. The Bruins face a team, by the way, that beat them by 46 points earlier in the season. UCLA is on a 6-game winning streak. But what do you say we get to the news? Lincoln Riley told a press conference that after the Alex Grinch era of unparalleled sorrow, that he wanted to build a defensive coaching staff at USC, quote, that takes a backseat to no one, period, unquote. First of all, I'm glad Lincoln Riley didn't end it with full stop, okay? Let's get rid of that for once and for all. And what I can tell you about the staff is you already know about the job DeAnton Lynn did over at UCLA as defensive coordinator, but also what was added to the staff. There was a 2-time national champion in Matt Entz and a former Super Bowl winning assistant coach in former Rams defensive line coach Eric Henderson. So we are starting to get little pieces, little bits and pieces prior to spring ball as to what could happen with the Trojans. Some of this stuff we have mentioned before, but I want to give you an overall look because, of course, the Trojans are moving to the Big Ten. And frankly, after last year, there's a distinct possibility that USC will be incorrectly overlooked. So here's what we believe about the Trojans. We know that the 3-3-5 speed D is long gone. What Lynn had over at UCLA, he had a 4-man front. But having said that, it often looked like a 3-man front. One of the defensive linemen wouldn't get in a 3-point stance. He would basically be standing up to rush. Entz said that the way Lynn runs a defense suggests similarities to a 4-2-5 defense that he ran at North Dakota State. Now, if this is true, what that tells us is that's going to impact the linebacker room. If transfer Easton Mascarenas-Arnold, who was an all Pac-12 selection because he had 107 tackles at Oregon State, if he's coming into SC, which he is, and he has a spot locked up, which he should, then that tells me that the only other linebacking spot available is going to be a battle between Mason Cobb, Eric Gentry, and Rajon Davis. Or maybe, to help the defensive line get to the quarterback, one of those guys is going to have to switch to defensive end. And I'm here to drop a hint. Eric Gentry can't be that guy. But either way, there is going to be a battle, in my arrogant little opinion, to be the second linebacker in a 4-2-5 defense. Now, the secondary, we've only discussed a little bit earlier this week. And much of that, to be frank, is guesswork. The other bright spot, though, is something that we discussed earlier this week, and that's that Lynn is taking his coaching super slow, which indicates that there's going to be an emphasis on fundamentals. And frankly, we should all be overjoyed at that. The Bruins have been absolutely terrible at fundamentals, basic tackling, getting off blocks, coverage, and so on. They were terrible under Alex Grinch. They were terrible under Clay Helton. You could argue that USC has not played competent defense in, what, 15 years? Maybe longer? Maybe ever since Pete Carroll left? Now, having said that, I have to be honest and say that not everything sits well with that press conference. It's a peeve. I think we need to retire the phrase, "I want all the smoke." I mean, understand, I do like Eric Henderson. I like the fact that despite the fact the NFL is different than the college game, that he's looking forward to going out and recruiting, to meeting families, to be a positive impact on young men. All of that is good. But when you claim that you want all the smoke in recruiting, I mean, dude, you can't talk about meeting families like you're going to get strapped and go on a drive-by. Not everything in life is getting the smoke. People need to understand that. People shouldn't work at Stater Brothers and tell the manager that they want all the smoke of working the 10 items or less lane. Just say you're happy to meet a bunch of families and that you can't wait to tell them about how great USC is. I don't need to hear about all the smoke. And yes, that is an old man yelling at the clouds. UCLA athletic director Martin Jarmond said that he hopes new football coach DeShaun Foster will hire a veteran assistant coach to mentor him in the process. And frankly, that's a fair suggestion. But having said that, all things being equal, Foster might actually wind up having to fire a coach. Here's why. You can only have so many assistant coaches on the field. Okay? The Bruins are 3 people shy of the maximum number of coaches that you can hire. He's going to want an offensive coordinator who matches his mindset. He's going to need a tight end coach, a running back coach, and an inside linebacker coach. And what that tells me is somebody's got to do 2 jobs, because you only have 3 spots for 4 needs. And by the way, even then, somebody might wind up losing their job anyway, because that particular coach, whoever it is, doesn't have the skill set that Foster needs. It's a very confusing thing that I read in the LA Times. I have to be real with you. Because if you read the article, by the way, Jarmond didn't even suggest that Foster had the authority to clean house if he wanted to. Many of the people on the UCLA coaching staff are holdovers from Chip Kelly. Is UCLA so financially strapped that if Foster wanted to clean house, could he do it? I don't know the answer. Now, maybe the scribe covering the Bruins didn't think about asking that. But when a new guy takes over your company, don't you wonder about downsizing? Don't you wonder about layoffs? Apparently not at UCLA. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I probably will spend a little too much time. Look, when the Kings played in New Jersey earlier this week, Victor Arvidsson, in his first game back from having missed all that time with back surgery, Victor Arvidsson wasted no time in getting under the skin of the Devils' Jack Hughes. Hughes, by the way, did not like it, and he chirped back on a hot mic. People pay to watch me play. Jack Hughes needs therapy, and here's why. I'm a 56-year-old man. I don't know if I've ever gone to a game specifically to watch a random player. I go to see my team. You know, like I'm a Galaxy fan. I didn't go to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic, although I appreciated and enjoyed him a hell of a lot. I went to see the Galaxy play. I don't believe that sports fans go to a game simply to watch individual players, unless it's a LeBron James, a Jordan, a Tom Brady, a Wayne Gretzky. You know, the all-time greats. And I'm here to tell you, Jack Hughes, you're not Wayne Gretzky. I even have to be reminded that you're Jack Hughes. I don't know who you are. I mean, you're not even the captain of your own team. People are more likely to pay to watch Nico Hershier play, and I don't even know if I pronounced the guy's name right. Jack Hughes? I mean, yeah, I get it. You were a #1 overall pick. You're not even the captain of your team. Connor McDavid would be somebody I could see people paying to go see. He's the captain of his team. Just because you're the #1 pick in a draft doesn't mean that you're somebody that people are going to pay through the nose specifically to watch play. And by the way your career is going, you're closer to Michael Olowokandi than you are to Michael Jordan in terms of high draft picks. For real. I mean, seriously, you're only 22 years old and you're claiming that you have that much stroke. I mean, I remember when I was 22 thinking I was a bigger deal than I already was. Oh, look at me. I write for a daily newspaper and then I head to Hollywood to tell jokes. Oh, people pay to see me. No, they didn't. The hell they did. In other words, Mr. Hughes, shut the hell up and grow the hell up. MajorLeagueBaseball.com, I should say, provided clarity on Miguel Vargas's role in LA. He was last season's opening day second baseman, if you remember that, but he slowly stunk up the joint, sent down to Oklahoma City, and there's no real role for him now. Not over Mookie Betts at second base. That's not happening. So we found out that he officially reported to spring training as a left fielder. But how the hell does he crack the roster there? Teoscar Hernandez is there. Jason Hayward. Manuel Margot. Anybody remember a guy named Chris Taylor? So, new year, same lack of a role for Miguel Vargas. Meanwhile, the Dodgers did sign a former closer to boost the bullpen. But for Justin Wilson, he's only going to get a minor league deal. He will fit in just fine with the Dodgers staff because he too has had Tommy John surgery, literally just like half of the Dodgers pitching staff. If you want to be in a street gang, you know, you get jumped in. And if you want to pitch for the Dodgers, you have to have your elbow torn apart in Tommy John surgery. It's like an initiation. The dude, by the way, has pitched for 5 teams in 11 seasons, mostly as a setup guy, but he did close for Detroit. And if he can show he's got the stuff, it's actually not a bad signing for the Dodgers. They could use another left-hander in the bullpen. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me if you see the potential for a big change with USC's defense. Do you have faith that DeShaun Foster will have the capability to build a coaching staff to his liking? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.